Bitter criticism of movie. Let's make a quick movie criticism. Today I saw a documentary, a Brazilian documentary. Because of the name of the documentary, I thought it was a politics. I thought it was about politics. I thought it was about against Bolsonaro and stuff. That's Peter, by the way. Peter almost broke my heart because he disappeared. His home, his bed on the street were thrown away through garbage, I guess. Peter, what happened to your bed? In the summer you will get a lot of ticks, Peter. So I thought Peter was dead. I thought Peter was dead, and it breaks my heart. And well, when that happens to me, to someone I love dies, immediately I remember the beautiful sadness from South Park. I know it's kind of stupid. It's a stupid reference, South Park. But there's an episode in which Peter, venga aquí. Peter. I will show you the episode. Peter, come here. Peter, venga. And this is Peter. Peter is alive. We are so happy with Peter. And Peter is so happy with me. Isn't it, Peter? Are you a Rastafari, Peter? Tell us a little bit about Rastafarianism. Do you believe in Selassie's Jah? Huh? Tell us. Do you believe in Selassie's Jah, our savior? Peter is a Rastafari. And well, come a little close to the camera. Yeah. A little, come here. Yeah, he understood. I thought Peter was dead. Such a bad. I had a really, really bad time 2 days ago. Mimi, his girlfriend, his comrade, is not here right now, but I guess she's alive, you know. Butters, beautiful sadness. Beautiful sadness. Look, I'll show you something. I will show you something about sadness. This is very nihilistic. It's very nihilistic, but it's gold.
Look at that. Another tortured soul. Another life of pain. Hey, Raven, check it out. Butters?
Oh. Hey, Stan. What's the matter with you? Well, my girlfriend broke up with me.
Did she step on your heart with stiletto shoes?
Yeah, sure does hurt.
That's cool. I guess you can join up with us if you want. Yeah, we're gonna go to the graveyard and write poems about death and how pointless life is.
No thanks. I love life.
Huh? But you just got dumped.
Well, yeah, and I'm sad. But at the same time, I'm really happy that something can make me feel that sad. It's like, it makes me feel alive, you know? It makes me feel human. The only way I can feel this sad now is if I felt something really good before. So I have to take the bad with the good. So I guess what I'm feeling is like a beautiful sadness. I guess that sounds stupid.
Yeah.
No, Butters, that doesn't sound stupid at all. Well, thanks for offering to let me in your clique, guys. But to be honest, I'd rather be a crying little pussy than a faggy goth kid. We'll see you, Stan.
He's right. I don't even know who I am anymore. I like liking life a lot more than hating it. Screw you guys. I'm going home.
So as usual, I'm going to repeat this. I'm going to repeat
Another tortured soul. Another life of pain. Hey, Raven, check it out.
Butters?
Oh. Hey, Stan.
Peter, venga,
What's the matter with you?
ven aquí.
Well, my girlfriend broke up with me.
Did she step on your heart with stiletto shoes?
Yeah, it sure does hurt.
That's cool. I guess you can join up with us if you want. Yeah, we're gonna go to the graveyard and write poems about death and how pointless life is.
No thanks. I love life.
Huh? But you just got dumped.
Well, yeah, and I'm sad. But at the same time, I'm really happy that something can make me feel that sad. It's like, it makes me feel alive, you know? It makes me feel human. The only way I can feel this sad now is if I felt something really good before. So I have to take the bad with the good. So I guess what I'm feeling is like a beautiful sadness. I guess that sounds stupid.
Yeah.
No, Butters, that doesn't sound stupid at all.
Well, thanks for offering to let me in your clique, guys. But to be honest, I'd rather be a crying little pussy than a faggy goth kid. We'll see you, Stan.
He's right. I don't even know who I am anymore. I like liking life a lot more than hating it. Screw you guys. I'm going home.
Go ahead and go back to your sunshine fairy tale.
So, that was Beautiful Sadness from South Park. Not that bad, isn't it? And well, as usual, the trucks here are incredibly noisy, but that was just the first part, a brief comment. And then, well, I also well, the beautiful sadness consists in being happy because something makes you feel sad, you know. You were happy in the first place. So I'm pretty happy about these dogs. This dog over there, Peter Touch, he's an excellent dog. He is always guarding us. He's always protecting us. He acts like a real alpha male, not like Tommy. You are too stupid, Tommy. Tommy over there is too violent, he's too aggressive. And well, Peter Touch is very responsible, you know. He's always keeping a distance, caring about your safety. That's it. Peter Touch, my most precious friend. Just like Luca Brasi from the Godfather. Well, and I was watching this documentary from Brazil, Incompatível com a Vida. I thought it was about against Bolsonaro. I thought it was about politics, but actually it's a documentary about the situation of abortion. The situation of abortion in Global South, in Brazil and Chile also. And well, you know, it was a very, how to say it, a very, very, very personal documentary. The women, I think it's kind of, it's not pornography, as it's not erotic, but it's kind of, it's more appealing than a regular documentary, because this documentary from hers is too personal. She talks about abortion. She was 41 years old. She didn't have actually, I guess she will never have a child again, because she had a problem. And well, it's kind of well, of course there's a lot of there's a lot of points that this documentary have to. This documentary is useful. It's useful, but for the debate about abortion, and well, that happened to a lot of women actually, I guess, not having kids, because, and that's my point. Nobody said this in the room, because people tend to be polite, at least in Latin countries like this, people pretend to be nice, people push themselves so hard pretending to be nice. They never say nothing critical, never nothing substantial. Like, it's very, very hard for anybody to have kids, Having dogs is not so expensive. Look at Peter Touch over there. I don't feed him. I just care about him. I just can fight if somebody may him harm. I will protect him, but that's for free, no money involved. If I have to, I just pay for Tommy and Murcia and Milou. That's it. And it's even they are just dogs. They don't need clothes and nothing. Just food, just dog food. It's very expensive, And well, imagine having kids, And this is not just in Chile. This is all around the world. This is just capitalism. This is, that's the overall point about fertility rates. The expenses. That's why, for example, communist countries before Perestroika and Glasnost, back in USSR, the Soviet bloc, the Soviet communist country, people over there, they used to have 3 kids. Women used to have 3 kids or something or more. After Perestroika in Glasnost, women just have 1, maybe less than 1. So that's it. That's the question about fertility rates. And nobody says that, of course, because people pretend to be nice. That's it. And well, anyway, and I don't know what to say. I just don't like too much. As usual, as I always say here, I don't know, this society over here, maybe people listen to this, and I guess it's positive. It's a very positive criticism to do, that this very country and all the global south, Brazil and Chile, they are very authoritarian, and they are full of problems. They are loaded of problems, and the only thing they can do is be authoritarian, which is nothing. This doesn't solve anything. Being authoritarian doesn't solve anything, but that's it. They are authoritarian, just, I guess, to escape the arguments, being authoritarian and censor people and censor the debate is the easiest answer to criticism. That's it. So that's why people right here in these countries, they are superficial. And they are authoritarian, and that's it. It's so sad to have lived here by having or not having kids. It's so sad that to being live in the global south. Maybe things will improve with the BRICS, and that's why today is a Valdai Club movie criticism. Now, Valdai Club, I always watch this name on Russia Today. I guess it's not the first time. I guess it's not the first time I'm watching this site. This one, look, Valdai Club. I'm not sure if you can see that. Anyway, Valdai Club from, I guess it's from Russia. So Russia Today is always publishing these journalists, academics that publish in this very discussion club. So I make a lot of jokes about Valdai Club because a discussion club is something I never ever saw in Brazil nor in Chile. It's something that just doesn't exist, A discussion club like these documentary movies, debates after the movie just doesn't exist, Just doesn't exist. So sad, but it's the true matter. And I guess people is always actually the only place, the only context in which people discuss in Brazil or in Chile are these movies exhibitions. And well, I guess it's better in Brazil. I guess people or slightly better, It's not, Brazil is not perfect because there's a lot of religious people back in Brazil. But anyway, so this Valdai Club, discussion club, I can even remember, I can even imagine how is a discussion club. That's why to me is so impressive actually. A discussion club. I can even imagine how is a discussion club, I definitely will take a visit if I win lottery, of course. I promise, if I win lottery, the first thing I will do is buy a ticket to Russia during summer, and I definitely will go to this Valdai Club, and I don't know, I will take my carnival costumes and I will enter the club screaming, making jokes. Anyway, because a club, I imagine people discussing in a club, being friends, making a lot of friends, and sometimes making a party. Why not a party? That's the first thing I imagine about a discussion club. A club where people are debating, and suddenly there's a lot of beers and a lot of vodka and a lot of crazy people screaming and dancing. Anyway, so I have an article from Valdai Club. Opinions: BRICS as an alternative to rule marker in global governance. July 24, Nabi Somboli. This is the photograph, I guess, is from Sputnik. Alexei Danichev. And we have the subtitle: By connecting different developing regions around the world, BRICS can really present itself as an alternative rule maker in global governance. As an alternative rule maker in global governance, based on UN rules, Nabi Samboli writes. So, Nabi Samboli is the author. Anyway, let's go. The West, led by the US, has been the main global rule maker for decades. However, the rest have not been satisfied with the global rules made by the West. In order to address how we must develop an alternative world order, we need to understand the shortcomings of the one which currently exists. The main problems with the present international order are not with its values or institutions, but with how they are practiced and managed. How they are practiced and managed. what the US calls a rules-based international order in practice has mostly been an order based on US rules and interests, not based on the UN or global rules. From a strategic point of view, the US plus, by plus I mean the West in general and the G7 in particular, have divided Europe, the Middle East, and East Asia. After the Cold War, the US and its partners tried to engage Russia economically and in the energy sector in order to stabilize global energy markets. However, they excluded Moscow from European security mechanisms. Russian exclusion and the undermining of its security led to the Ukraine conflict. In the Middle East, they excluded Iran for more than four decades from any mechanism and targeted Tehran using economic, political, and indirectly military means. US allies in the Middle East also tried to impose their security costs on the US by engaging Washington in regional and domestic conflicts. Consequently, they destabilized the whole region. In East Asia, they are doing the same with China. The US benefits from the Chinese market and engages with China economically. However, in order to benefit from China's rising military power, they need to compete with Beijing. That's why, when it comes to security, China is defined as a threat. Emphasizing this Chinese threat helps the US limit Beijing's economic power and influence. There are others who benefit from this approach too. Quote, constructing Russia, Iran, and China as threats helps the US battle its own budget at home, control allies abroad, and undermine rivals. By fabricating enemies and rivals, it's much easier to pass more than $800 billion military budgets at home every year and convince the people that, quote, we are defending the country against enemies who in fact do not exist. By outlining enemies in regional or global context, the US tries to control and influence its allies and partners. Without such an approach, US allies in Europe, the Middle East, and East Asia will be much more interested in pursuing strategic autonomy and independent foreign policies. Manipulating allies and partners helps the US undermine its rivals, Russia, Iran, and China. By concentrating on threats, the US rivals will not be able to utilize opportunities and realize their economic and strategic potential. Geographically, the US has been far removed from regional and global wars and conflicts. For the US establishment, war is a business by other means. More than 2.5 million people work for MICs in different US states, and approximately the same number of people work in military-related businesses in countries which are US allies and partners. Quote, for that reason, supporting the wars in Ukraine, Gaza, and other regions are a component of domestic politics and the war business. Those who benefit from conflicts and instability are not interested in ending them, and it was partly the business aspect of conflicts that prolonged them in Iraq, Afghanistan, Yemen, Libya, the Korean Peninsula. End of quote. That's why the US has been engaged in wars around the world more than any other country, because the costs are paid by others. Consequently, North America benefits from peace and prosperity, and other parts of the world are engaged in regional and domestic conflicts. Politically, double standards are the most important shortcoming. The United States preaches about the rules-based international order, But then we look at the US and its allies, behavior in Ukraine and the greater Middle East, Iraq, Afghanistan, Yemen, Syria, Libya, Palestine, etc. We see that they do not practice what they preach. Violations of human rights, international and humanitarian laws, occupation, invasion, the development of nuclear weapons, and even committing genocide are all allowed if it is done by the US and or its allies and partners. Well, and there's another. Well, this is a very beautiful site. Look, I will show you something beautiful. Quote, I'm not quoting Donald Trump, but look. So in the part of, look, I didn't smoke weed this time, but look, this in this part in the part of the in this up part, in this part we have the news, and then we have in the middle, which is another news, but it's beautiful. It's not ugly like any other newspaper, you know. We have another news, another article, and it's absolutely clean, you know. It is beautiful. This site is beautiful. This site for mobile phones, yeah, because it's not just a link, you know. It's a very important space in the page, but you know it's another link, you know. It's other link with a very stressed way to show it. Well, I will read the stressed article. Global Alternatives 2024, Thinking Laterally, How to Create a More Inclusive World Order. So that's just another text, but it's beautiful. Resilience or undestructive power and burden sharing is another shortcoming of the current international order. During the past 3 decades, the US has not tried enough to engage others, sometimes even its allies, in making important decisions regarding wars and conflicts. The US makes small coalitions and launches war by using its destructive power first. And then Washington tries to organize an international conference for peace building and burden sharing. And whenever others are not ready to cooperate and or the conflicts are too costly, the US leaves the conflicts for others to suffer. Afghanistan was the latest case, and it imposed huge costs on the region, especially on Iran. The last but not least problem, the US rules-based order is the weaponization of finance and business as a new tool. It was left many countries and even Western companies dissatisfied, since direct conflicts have become too expensive and Western societies are not interested in paying. The US and its allies have turned more and more to economic and financial sanctions to impose their positions and undermine those who are not with them. You know, yeah, people in capitalism in the West sphere, they are just broke. Everybody is broke in capitalism. So if you are a Chinese thinking about the West, forget about it. We are all broke in the West Global South, in the West Global North. Capitalism just broke people, just breaks people. There's no way to survive in capitalism. Anyway, these are some of the shortcomings of current world order. In fact, this order that has made many countries, companies and societies dissatisfied and interested in looking for alternatives at regional and global levels. The alternative order needs to be globally acceptable and respectable. Such an order should be based more on the UN and global values and interests, including non-intervention, respect for international and humanitarian law and human rights, multipolarity, indivisible security, peaceful development, peaceful coexistence, opposition to unilateral coercive measures, cultural diversity, etc. These values, supported by BRICS member states, are more global and inclusive. However, having common values is not enough. Words should have weight. Are the BRICS members are the BRICS member states strong enough to push forward an alternative order based on the UN and global values? Yes. You know this, if you see my videos, this is the question I make for Russia and China. Do they have a really best alternative for the world, or is just the same capitalism as usual? Because capitalism, I'm very anti-capitalist, because capitalism, they need to make huge profits to survive. Without huge profits, capitalism does not survive. That's the huge problem of capitalism. Is China and Russia a really alternative to capitalism? How? Why? I hope so, That's my hope. Militarily, almost all BRICS member states are able to defend themselves. There are 3 nuclear powers among each grouping: the US, UK, and France in the G7, and Russia, China, and India in BRICS. Although G7 members may have access to more advanced technologies, these have not helped them with most of the important wars since Vietnam War. The US failed in Vietnam, Iraq, and Afghanistan. Israel, with all the advanced weapons provided by the US, has not been able to win a war against a small group in Palestine. And NATO's provision of advanced technologies for Ukraine has not helped the country achieve decisive victories on the battlefield. In purchasing power parity terms, the BRICS Plus GDP has surpassed that on the G7. In 2023, BRICS' share of global GDP was 32%, while that of the G7 was 29%. Based on IMF statistics, in 2024, emerging markets and developing economies mostly look for reform in global governance. Share of global GDP will be 59%, while the developing economies' share will be 40%. BRICS in total have bigger markets, more natural resource, and mostly enjoy younger, educated populations, and a greater economic growth rate than advanced developed countries. Geographically, BRICS Plus is more global and more inclusive than G7. Aside from Japan, the G7 members are all Western countries, while BRICS range from China in the Far East to Brazil in South America, and from Russia in the north to South Africa. Recently, Iran, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt in the center joined the group. BRIC Plus has the capacity to create a global network that is very important in making global rules. However, to play as an alternative rule maker engaged in global governance, there are some shortcomings that BRICS Plus need to find a solution to. Some of them include, this is a huge article, and making a good comment, a simple comment, is so great. The decision to call the blog BRICS Plus, because putting all the letters from each country will be impossible. Imagine how many letters will be right now. So BRICS Plus is genius. BRICS Plus have the capacity geographically. BRICS Plus is more global and more inclusive than G7. Aside from Japan, the G7 members are all Western countries, while BRICS range from China. Oh, I just read this. BRICS Plus has the capacity to create a global network that is very important in making global rules. However, to play as an alternative rule maker engaged in global governance, there are some shortcomings that BRICS Plus needs to find a solution to. Some of them include financial mechanisms. The US-EU sanctions are effective, I think, mostly because of the effectiveness of existing financial institutions which force companies and countries alike to comply and sometimes over-comply with them. BRICS needs to develop its own financial and legal mechanisms to be able to defend member states, their companies, and other companies that work in with BRICS member states against the extraterritorial laws and regulations of the US-EU. You know, I guess this paragraph, the previous idea is all my ideas. This guy is copying me, but I'm happy, you know. I am happy with my club. Valdai Club is my club too, and I can go there. I cannot go to Russia because of money, because flight tickets for dogs, for 3 dogs. I need tickets for 3 dogs. What about that? Tommy want to fight, you know. Tommy is Zangief from Street Fighter, you know, the Soviet fighter. It's Tommy. Tommy want to fight for Russia, isn't it, Tommy? I'll show you Tommy. Calma. So definitely all this necessity to be an alternative for capitalism, this guy didn't say capitalism ever in this article, but that's the question. I will read again this. Financial mechanisms. The US-EU sanctions are effective, I think, mostly because of the effectiveness of existing financial institutions which force companies and countries alike to comply and sometimes over comply with them. BRICS needs to develop its own financial and legal mechanism to be able to defend member states with their companies and other companies that work in with BRICS member states against the extraterritorial laws and regulations of the US and EU. The SWIFT system is the backbone from the West, you know. The BRICS Plus needs an alternative to the SWIFT system. That's it. That's how they finance Israel with everybody's in the world money. And another point, another paragraph. Synergy, the level of cooperation and coordination among BRICS member states in comparison with G7 are not sufficient yet. As long as BRICS member states observe US-EU unilateral, multilateral, coercive measures against other countries, willingly or not, they strengthen the current US-dominated international order, and the rest will not regard it as an alternative. Connectivity is the third important component of an alternative competitive global governance system. Corridors play a key role in this regard, especially developing corridors in the regions that the US has less control over. like the Silk Road and the North-South corridor connecting India as well as the Arab and African countries to Central Asia, the Caucasus and Russia through Iran. Comprehensive, indivisible security. Security cannot be limited to the military and intelligence. Economic, social, and cybersecurity are also very important. BRICS needs to concentrate and invest more on economic and social development in West Asia, Central Asia, Africa, and South America by connecting different developing regions around the world. BRICS can really present itself as an alternative rule maker in global governance based on UN rules. And that was all. And right here is another beautiful link. It's not a regular link as I explained before. It's a whole block. You see a whole different block contrast. This is a dark color block showing another article. So this discussion club is very serious about articles, about texts. Look, Global Alternatives 2024, Transformation of BRICS, from symbolic power to a real financial pole in the modern world. This is another guy just discussing. I guess it's not a real a physical material discussion club in a building, in a saloon. It's not. I guess it's just a digital magazine, maybe. So sad. Who knows, So yeah, I will ask that. I will send them a mail, I guess. Global Alternatives 2024, Transformation of BRICS, from symbolic power to a real financial pole in the modern world. Oleg Baranov. This year, Russia will be hosting the BRICS summit in October in Kazan. I guess that is not happening yet. Today is just August. But as usual, well, I just read one article. So they have huge articles, and Daniel Jadue is still in prison, our communist candidate from Chile. So free Daniel Jadue.
Hubiesen formado una agrupación llamada
los problemas de la ciudadanía y del pueblo. Tiene que ver también con tener una ciudad más amable, en donde no haya tanta congestión, en donde no haya tanta contaminación, en donde efectivamente no tengas que gastar 1 hora y media del tiempo tuyo de vida para ir al trabajo de ida, 1 hora y media para venir al trabajo de vuelta, que es hora que finalmente no se la quita al trabajo porque no se contabiliza dentro de la jornada laboral, se la quita al descanso a tu familia. Entonces necesitamos tener una ciudad más humana, ¿no? Y eso es, de esto hablaba Max Neff cuando hablaba de un desarrollo a escala humana, ¿no? Entonces yo creo que aquí tenemos que cambiar el switch y dejarnos de pensar en crecimiento, economías de escala, puro PIB. No, eso no resuelve. Finalmente hoy día estamos prisioneros de una mentira que es el crecimiento hasta el infinito, y no lo vamos a hacer, porque para que alguien crezca indefinidamente tiene que quebrar a todos los otros que compiten con él.
Bueno, aquí hay pensamiento crítico. Es Daniel Jadue los días miércoles en el Sin Maquillaje a través de sus redes sociales. Hoy estamos en el Sin Maquillaje 183 y ya tenemos nuevo salario mínimo, Daniel Jadue, a propósito.
Desde el 1 de julio, entiendo, ¿no?
¿De junio? ¿De junio? No tengo idea, no sé. Bueno, pero no queda mucho tiempo. Da lo mismo, sea 1 de julio. No da lo mismo, detalle, estamos a día, digamos. Por favor, se nos está yendo mal.
Pero el 1 de enero quedando el salario
ya. Pero ahí va a aparecer importante tema de fondo, pues, Dani, por favor.
1 de julio.
I'm not that bad. I'm not that bad with this, my back. doing these stretches. I call it yoga, but I'm doing great. It's been great. Right now I feel great, but I have to do it daily, on a daily basis. I can't stop doing it. You know, I just realized if you say can't, is cannot. But if you say I can, it's not can. Is a little different. A. If you can do, you can. You say can. Can is a little smaller. Can. But if you cannot, you say can't. Understand? Can. I can. Is a little smaller. Is a different phoneme. That's it. And well, let's watch what Tommy is doing. Do you saw how beautiful is Tommy? Tommy was with me on the streaming on this episode. I guess I should keep doing more yoga this time. Well, a very large article from Valdai Club. I guess I will have to say the name of the article. That's my policy. If I have two articles, I say I put a generic. I create my own name for the video. I create a generic name like this time. Well, next time I will keep in mind the size of, and I will read like Speedy Gonzalez.